Hey, thank you guys for coming out. How are we doing tonight? Awesome. Hey, keep that round of applause going for your wait staff, bar and wait staff. Please take good care of them tonight. They're taking care of you guys. You guys excited for the Sklars? Yeah! Awesome. Yeah, we got a great show tonight. Just the house rules, house matter. Please, no heckling. Also, no talking. Sometimes there's a very blurry line, a lot of confusion. A lot of people, I was helping. You weren't helping. Use the QR codes, order drinks throughout the show. Those are the rules. Here's some jokes. I really like alternative hip-hop. Growing up, I listened to a lot of alternative rock, so it only makes sense. In my 30s, I've gotten really into alternative milks. I bought some oat milk recently. I put it in with my oatmeal. I thought, oh man, this is going to be the best thing ever. And the microwave dinged, and I opened up the door, and there was just a dead Quaker in there. He was like a little bit lukewarm, so I shut the door, gave him another quick Mennonite, and he was delicious. I watched a bunch of the Olympics this summer. Did you guys watch the Olympics? Yeah, I love the Olympics. There was a lot of fear, a lot of panic, a lot of confusion about these Olympics. A lot of people being like, "Are the Olympics gay?" Look, the Olympics are only as gay as ancient Greece was gay. Which is to say, yeah, the Olympics are pretty gay. I watch it mostly for the weird sports. You know, I watch a little bit of Olympic basketball, but like Olympic basketball didn't have anything new to teach me. You know, the only thing I learned watching Olympic basketball was that basketball games are actually super short if you get rid of all the commercial breaks. You know, it turns out if Steph Curry doesn't have an incentive to stop play every 30 seconds so Steph Curry can try and sell you some insurance, game zips right along. Yeah, I watch it mostly for the weird sports. You know, sports I only need to see a couple hours of once every 8 years. Like I watched some handball. Did you guys watch any handball? Completely different sport than the sport I thought it was when I turned it on. I thought handball was a sport like tough guys on the East Coast played after they got out of prison. You know, just like racquetball, but you're outside. You don't have a racket. You're just using your hand. They sent me up the river 10 years for racketeering. I ain't never touching another racket again. No, completely different sport. People, team sport, throwing around a tiny red soccer ball, trying to score points. It basically looked like water polo if you dried it out. Which is a good thing, because I watched some water polo too. That sport does not TV well. Just a bunch of splashing around. Looks like a public pool on a Saturday afternoon, you know? People are splashing, throwing a ball around. There's some horseplay. There's some Marco Polo. That's water polo. The Olympic broadcast, they kept talking up. They were like, let's take another look at the action with our underwater camera. They cut to this thing, just butts. Just treading water. Looks like Finland's in a lot better shape than we thought. I know it's 2024. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to kink shame. But I got to be honest with you. The existence of furries has severely complicated my understanding of mascots. You know, I mean, has it all been a sex thing all along? Where does one begin? Where does the other end? It's gotten distracting. I was watching the game the other day, close fourth quarter, back and forth. I was still thinking about halftime. I was like, hey, do you guys remember when that guy dressed as a giant wolf came out and did the worm? Was he getting off in there? Look, all I'm saying is some of these perverts can dunk, okay? I'm in this book club. We read books socially. Two of the most enduring themes we've discovered thus far in the course of our readings have been the theme of the labyrinth and incest. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. That's just what people are writing about. It does make me excited to share with you the title of my forthcoming novel, Incest Labyrinth. As you might imagine, it's about a remarkably hot family that gets lost in a maze. The Incest Labyrinth. Lately, I've been taking jiu-jitsu classes at the senior center. I'm really good. Do you yield, Doris? Been trying to take better care of myself. I have been. I'm actually doing this cleanse diet. It's called the Poison Cleanse. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. 3 weeks, all you eat, all you drink, just poison. to be honest with you, I feel bad, you know? And I was thinking about stopping, but then I reminded myself, that's just the poison working. I was channel flipping the other day. I actually came across this episode of Antiques Roadshow with the serial killer Ed Gein on it. Yeah. Do you guys know who Ed Gein was? Gein was the real-life inspiration for Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, House of a Thousand Corpses. I mean, there is a body of work dedicated to this guy's work with bodies, you know? In this day and age, any given psychopath is lucky to get like a 3-episode limited series, let alone a whole movie, but there are dozens of movies, books, and heavy metal songs about Ed Gein. And so I was surprised to see him on Antiques Roadshow in the flesh. And he was like, well, sir, this lamp was my mother. Ed Gein, he made artisanal folk art out of your folks. And the host gave him a little bit of pushback. Was like, hey, Ed, do you have any way of authenticating that? Because that's crazy. And he said, well, her face could always light up a room. And my father hasn't been able to turn her on for years. I live over on the west side of town, a lot of college kids, you know. They're always riding those scooters around. If you go out driving on like a Saturday or Sunday morning, it kind of just looks like the rapture happened, you know, with all the scooters strewn about the sidewalks and lawns and streets. Just the other day, I was walking up college, and I saw these two people riding the scooters just right in traffic, you know. The cars were honking at them, swerving around, and I thought, oh my gosh, these people, they must be from out of town, you know. They must not know they've picked like the most dangerous, least scooter-safe, least bicycle-friendly road to be riding these things on. I thought, I should shout something out to them. You know, I could save a life today, right? And then as they got closer, I noticed the guy was actually wearing a shirt that said, don't tread on me. It would be so funny if this guy got tread on. We're just gotta let this play out. I don't know if you guys have heard this. There's an election next week, I guess. It sounds like kind of a big one. I think some people are saying it might be the last one we ever have. You know, over the last 10 years, things have gotten so sick and sad and weird with the elections. I mean, even on a local level. You know, a couple years ago, I don't know if you remember this, but here in Larimer County, we had to elect a new county coroner, which I had forgotten was an elected position. Seems like a grossly irresponsible choice to leave to us, the voters. And there were two candidates. There was a Democratic candidate. There was a Republican candidate. I was looking at the ballot being like, oh, I think I know too much about both of these coroners. Then it got worse. Then they got on TV, started running their local advertisements, saying things like, ladies and gentlemen, my opponent believes it is a coroner's right to eat and fuck the bodies. Whereas I understand it is merely a coroner's privilege to eat and fuck the bodies. Are you tired of the incumbent county coroner eating and fucking the bodies? Well, a vote for me will reduce this gruesome practice by 20 to 30%. Just a couple weeks ago, there was a news story going around that Geico was no longer going to insure the Tesla Cybertruck. You know, not the first time Elon Musk has been convinced the lizard people were out to get him. And as more came out, it turned out this story wasn't true. Sorry, Elon, no lizard people. It looks like it's still just the IRS, the DOJ, the FTC, the NSA, and possibly the INS that are out to get you. No deep state, but the shallow state sure has put together a deep bench. You know, we live in fascinating times. For instance, we now know that if you give a chimpanzee paints and a paintbrush and a canvas, that chimp can paint a painting, right? We also know you can design a computer chip to paint a painting. And we also now know that if you put a computer chip in a chimp's brain, that chimpanzee will die. Fascinating times. I saw a headline recently. It said, real-life Tarzan found he ate rats to live, and he didn't even know women existed. I saw that, and to be honest, my first thought was, that one had kind of worked itself out, you know? I mean, arguably, that guy's life just got way more complex. You're telling me he's just entered the dating pool and the only thing he knows how to cook is rat? The article didn't even mention money. It's like, it gets worse, Tarzan. But I'm sure there's somebody out there for rat Tarzan. But I mean, let's be real. The rat eating is going to be one of the first things to go, right? Soon the poor guy's going to be reduced to sneaking a few rats with the boys on his way home from work. He gets home, she catches him. I can smell the rats on your breath, Tarzan. It's me or the rats, you have to choose. Poor guy finds himself swinging over to Rats Anonymous. He's just sitting there with Raoul from Ratatouille, Rizzo the Rat from the Muppets, Master Splinter from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ratigan from the Great Mouse Detective. Rudy Giuliani is there. He's thinking, I must have misread the pamphlet because these guys look delicious. That's going to do it for me. You guys have been a great crowd.